You followed the strategy. You did what worked for them. Same steps, same system, same blueprint, but it's not working for you. And now you're sitting there wondering, I wonder what the problem is. I wonder where I missed it. I wonder what's going on. Why isn't this working for me? Let me tell you something that might shift everything for you today. That's not a failing strategy. That strategy was never built for you. I see this pattern all the time when it's costing homeschooling moms in business a lot of money, and it's secretly slipping through their checkbook and they're not seeing it. And I'm here to give you the wake-up call to realize what's going on. It's in plain sight, but you're not catching it. So you're building a business, right? While trying to be present with the kids, while trying to carry on the weight of the world that your household requires of you, doing something that actually matters. And then you open your phone and watch someone else make it look easy. Have you been there? I've been there. Okay. So you think at that and you said, I wonder what she's doing. Let me do exactly what she's doing. And you stalk her on Facebook, you stalk her on IG and TikTok and YouTube, right? But what you don't see is her kids' ages, her schedule, her capacity, her calling. Okay. And now you're trying to force a system into life it was never designed for. Okay. And it creates something that's dangerous. Frustration, confusion, and quiet burnout. We see this all the time when we go and connect with other homeschooling moms in business and they initiate that conversation of comparison. And it's the subtle things that are said and not said. Okay. So here's the real issue. You copied the what, but you never understood the why. Okay. And when you don't understand the why you're doing what you're doing, you can't adapt the strategy when life shifts. So instead of building with clarity, you start chasing outcomes. I remember doing this when I first started, just looking at people, and I chased and chased and chased. And it wasn't until some major things happened and God opened my eyes to what I was doing. I was comparing apples with oranges without understanding the why. And this is exactly what scripture warns us about in Proverbs 14 verse 12. It says, there is a way that seems right to a man, and the end leads to destruction. Just because something works, it doesn't mean it's right for you. And that was, for me, was a hard pill to swallow, because if it's working for them, why isn't it working for me? If I serve the same God that they serve, why isn't it working for me? Okay. And then look at 1 Corinthians 12 verse 4 through 6. It says, there are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit distributes them. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. So that interprets to mean different assignments, different structure, different strategies. But many of us are trying to live someone else's assignment, okay? And wondering why this feels heavy, right? Have you been there? If you've been there, I want you to put me or drop your favorite emoji in the comment section below. I want to see you. Who else has been here? Let me paint a picture for you. Two homeschooling moms start a business at the same time. Mom number one has teenagers, works uninterrupted for 4 to 5 hours a day, and has a structured homeschool rhythm. Mom number two has 2 toddlers, is constantly interrupted. Homeschooling looks like it's learning in the margins, right? So mom two watches mom one online and thinks, that's the strategy. And so she tries to batch content for hours, been there, work late nights, force structure into chaos. And what happens? She didn't just fall behind. She starts to feel like she's failing in both business and motherhood. But here's the truth. She didn't fail. She misapplied because she is misaligned with her purpose and what God has called her to do. This is where it gets costly, because now you're second guessing yourself. You're overworking to catch up, whatever catch up looks like. You're feeling disconnected from your kids, and you're still not seeing the profits that you expected. All because you're the system of imitation instead of understanding. Okay. And let me say this clearly. Copying without clarity will always cost you more. Think about King David after he was anointed king, but before he actually walked into his role. So think of David and Saul's armor. In 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 38 and 39, it says, Saul tried to put the armor on David before the battle. And David said, I cannot go into these because I am not used to them. So he took it off. How many of us are willing to take something off that looks good per the world, that looks good per the church, but it was not intended for us in our business or in our homeschool? How many of us are willing to forego what looks good in honor of serving the Lord and choosing his purpose and his divine direction and his divine calling according to the gifts that he's already called us to before the foundations of the earth? Okay. And David took it off and says, I can't use these. This is not for me. Like, dude, I love you. These work well for you and you've won tons of battles, but this is not for me. Saul was anointed. David was anointed, but David was his whole mind, his whole everything was after God's own heart. Okay. So he took it off. Why? Because what worked for Saul was not built for David. What works for me was not built for you. What's worked for that influencer that's making millions, trillions of dollars as a homeschooling mom was not made for you. Okay. So some of you are trying to fight battles in armor that won't fit. And then you're wondering why you feel burned out. Where's the prophets? Why can't I be present with my kids? Why are my kids going in a direction that doesn't make sense? I'm praying and I'm asking, but I'm doing the wrong thing. So the goal is not to find the strategy that works. Okay. The goal is to build a strategy that works for you. This means that you're understanding your capacity. You're understanding and honoring your reason, your season that God has you in. You're structuring things around your children, not against them. Relationship first, business follows, okay? Aligning with your assignment, okay? Because your business is not separate from your life. I don't care how much people try and separate it, okay? It's supposed to support it. Your business is supposed to support your life, your family, your children, your adventures, things like that, okay? So inside the Prophet in Presence blueprint, this is exactly what we fix. We don't just give you strategies. We walk you through the 5 pillars that will help you to bring clarity and that will change everything. So if you've tried doing things that don't fit your schedule, if you're ready to stop copying and start actually building with intention, then this is a time to step into and design something that works for you. I want to encourage you to join the Prophet in Presence Blueprint. There's a free training that I'm going to drop down below that walks you through 3 of those steps, because you don't need more strategy. What you need right now is more structure. You need a divine call. You need divine clarity from the Lord in what you're doing as a homeschooling mom, okay, who is in business. Don't forget that part. Business is not ugly. It's something that you are ordained to do. So if this video blesses you, I hope that you could share and like and subscribe. Share this with a video with another mom who you think it will encourage. And thank you so much for being here today. And remember that what works for someone else will fail you if you don't understand how it works. Thank you so much for being here today, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.